Johnny Wong of Veracode. It's great to talk to you again. Thanks for joining me today. How are you seeing people in agencies working through establishing DevSecOps environments so that they are flexible and adaptable while they avoid getting stuck with one particular vendor so that they can pivot among different organizations? Johnny, welcome.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I think that's a really interesting question. And just like DevSecOps, the vendor selection, or even more of like a partner selection, really needs to be shifted left. And when you're looking at a vendor, I know everybody looks at the bells and whistles and the features and maybe the modern UI, but like look beyond the superficial, right? Go in and figure out, is this a partner? Is this a vendor partner that I will grow out of or that I will grow into? So not only go and evaluate their tools, make sure it's a technical fit, make sure it's a good commercial fit, but also look at like where they're going, right? Challenge them to a roadmap session to tell them where are they going, in the next 6 to 9 months, 12 months, whatever that roadmap looks like, and also go back and take a look at what have you done in the past 6 to 9 months in terms of innovation. What's the track record for that particular vendor? If they said they will have, let's say, FedRAMP certified solution in the next year, and a year later they still haven't delivered it, what kind of confidence do you have in that particular vendor to allow you to grow into that solution or set of solutions versus I'm going to grow out of it? And then you get into that vendor lock-in problem where it's no longer satisfying your practices and policies, and you have to go look for something else and a new partner.
How do you evaluate that roadmap session for that level of confidence, Johnny? How does one sit across the table from somebody, look at what they've described, whether it's on a piece of paper or a slide deck or whatever, and say, yeah, okay, I can buy either literally or figuratively, I can buy what they're selling?
And it really does go back to that track record. And we all know that past performance does not indicate future successes. But if you look out to what they've done and what they've missed, it's very telling of what they're going to go forward and do. And another thing government agencies can look at is peer reviews out there, right? Whenever I think the old adage of getting a reference from a vendor, I don't think it's really that useful. Of course, what was the vendor going to do? Are they going to go find the worst three and send to them like, oh, this is the worst. This is me at my worst. So please go ahead and evaluate me on that. They're
Yeah.
not going to do that. They're going to find the perfect references. They're going to say nothing but glowing reviews. And where you're at, you're basically at where you started. But if you go to these peer review sites where they talk about and they verify that they actually own the solution, they use the solution, they've implemented the solution, and they talk about the good, bad, and the uglies. And the other things would be going to conferences to in security conferences and just network with people, not just for yourself, but talk to folks like, hey, you've used this particular solution, what has been your experience over the last 12 months, 24 months? And there will be ugly parts, but focus on the what did they do when something goes wrong.
You used a term earlier that I thought was really interesting, that one should look for a vendor that either I will grow out of or grow into. And I wonder what the tells are for each of those. What does a vendor that I might grow out of look like? And what does a vendor that I might grow into look like?
So and this is not to blast Walmart or whatnot, but you can imagine if you have some need and you need to go and make that particular purchase. Sometimes financials are a very important part of the decision making. And if you only have a certain amount of dollars, you can only make certain purchases. So just as an example, I could go and let's say I needed a lamp, and I could go to Walmart and I can go pick up maybe a $15 lamp and it'll be good. But because of the build quality, it's going to fail me maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now. And I would have to go buy another $15 lamp if that's where my needs are. But if I, instead of going to, let's say like a Walmart or a big department store, I go to say a lamp store, right? Let's a specialty shop that provides much better quality material into their products and solutions. And I invest in, let's say, a $25 lamp. I'm stretching a little bit more further, but that lamp might last me, 5 years, 10 years. So instead of buying a $15 lamp every year, I buy a $25 lamp, and it will last me 5 years or even longer. Now, in the case of software vendors, it's about understanding what is the agency's mission and what are we going to do in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years. And if it's something like we need to scale because of the amount of, and from a DevSecOps perspective, the amount of software that we will be innovating because of digital transformation, whether it's the proliferation of artificial intelligence in the coding practices today, You need to understand, will this vendor support me and the technologies that we will adopt going forward? And can it scale too? And then also, once again, I go back to the look beyond the superficial. Just because it's slightly more modern, more flashy, if you will, that's the window dressing. That's almost like the I'm going to be on my best behavior on a first date and hide my true self. And then once you kind of look beyond the superficial, that's when you find out this is not a long term partnership that we should have. And that's how you grow out of vendor solutions.
It's good for the DevSecOps community then, it sounds like, that a lot of agencies are coming up with modernization roadmaps, modernization strategies, all those kinds of transformation kind of doctrines so that they have their own roadmaps. And then it's a lot easier, I imagine, to sync those with where the companies say that they're going in that roadmap session with a vendor that you outlined earlier. Am I on the right track there?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll just from a personal, experience perspective, we talk to agencies where they say, hey, we are using these particular programming languages today, but in the future we're either building or migrating to newer languages. Let's just, for example, we are deprecating ASP.NET because that's a 40-year-old technology. We're moving to just .NET. Let's make sure we actually have support for that. And then they may say, well, what's after that? Well, we definitely want to provide services to our citizens via mobile applications. All right, that's something we have to consider. And if the solution that you're looking at today doesn't have that, and you might say, well, maybe they'll have it in the next couple of years, but what about a solution that has it today and has a track record of actually providing language support at a rapid pace, right? To meet up with the roadmap of what you have, but also business, things change over time where maybe the planned .NET upgrade becomes yet some other language because something new came out and it's better, faster, more efficient, and that's what the agency is adopting. Can that company adopt with you, and do they have the track record of working with their agencies and their customers and providing those additional benefits and value?
Johnny, it's great to talk to you as always. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.